Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Freightmaster Resources. Again, my name is Tim, for those of you that have never been here before. And today I wanted to talk about don't be that guy or that girl, right? Before I jump into that, if you could hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification so that you get notified when I do these future videos if you like them. And again, don't forget to like and share. Okay. So, talking about don't be that guy or girl. What I mean by that is, for those of you who are maybe new or struggling, or whatever, reasons you tell yourself, you're out there pre-committing to loads from your customers. Okay? Don't be that guy or that girl. All right? I'm going to use the example. I talked to an agent a while back from a pretty well-known brokerage. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. And what their example to me is that, let's say that they've got a client that has 100 loads per day. They'll pre-commit to those 100 loads, and if they fulfill 30 to 40% of those, okay, they consider that a success. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied there. So then what happens, right? Ding, ding. You just handed 60 to 70 loads back to your customer at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You think they're going to be happy? Probably not, right? So don't be that guy, don't be that girl. I know it can be tempting, even if it's, a customer that has 5 loads that day or something. I have clients myself that want me to quote freight, a week or two out, and I do my best to give them the best rate that I can, most reasonable rate. I do have those carrier relationships, so I, have a pretty good idea. I talk to them what this load needs to run for, but they always want like a bill of lading, and sometimes my carrier, assuming in 2 weeks nothing happens and I'm able to get back, I don't get held up, yada yada yada, or I might have to throw it onto the load board. But they want that bill of lading. They want me to pre-commit to that load rate then and there, and I don't do it. I won't do it. Could I? Sure. But then if something were to happen, and obviously I've got that 2 weeks to do it. It's always better to be safe than sorry. Right? Or leave your customers in a lurch. And, like I said, you can't cheat the process. I try to do things, with integrity, try to be honest, keep my customers up to date on what's going on. Speaking of which, little side note, I know that rates have been up. And I may have mentioned this in the last video, I don't remember, but used truck sales have been on the rise for the last few weeks. So that in mind, watch for rates to kind of start to level out, taper off. I think that, obviously kind of with 2019 being marginal, we were all looking at 2020 being, woohoo, for everybody involved. Just didn't happen. With the pandemic, customers shut down, there wasn't enough freight, yada, yada, yada. You guys know the story, right? So, a lot of your carriers, pulled back, maybe let drivers go, some smaller operations maybe folded. We saw a lot of companies go under in the last, year and a half. So it's unfortunate, but as always, in this industry, there's always sort of that ebb and that flow, right? We've seen some decreased capacity, this summer, but I don't think that that's going to be the case much longer, in my humble opinion. Like I said, produce season is going to be kind of tapering off here very shortly, if it's not already. kind of starting to see a few signs of that. Although for those of you that are maybe brand new, start looking. I always tell everybody. I'm sorry, I know I'm getting off track here a little bit. I always tell everybody, try to think at least 3 months ahead, right? So 3 months ahead, what's maybe seasonal that's shipping 3 months from now, right? We all know Christmas is around the corner, so Christmas trees. If you're not already hooked up, if you're shipping produce and that kind of thing, you're familiar with it, pumpkins will be shipping very, very soon. Things like this, you know what I'm saying? Maybe reach out to, I don't know, companies that sell snow blowers, things like that, with winter coming, generators, things like this. Like I said, it seems like kind of like common sense, but in grand scheme of things, there's a lot that we do that it can seem very, very overwhelming as we're trying to, network and connect the dots and do this and do that and keep up, keep our customers up to date and keep software updated and yada, yada, yada. It can be, kind of crazy, but that's what the nice thing is about weekends. You can spend an hour, maybe two, to kind of, get your list together, or mark off those companies that you want to call if you've got our freight shipper list, or our freight shipper prospect list, things like that, and then kind of start thinking, what do I see coming into the store at this time of year, or what season is coming up, things like that. And that's just like with your produce companies, you want to start getting a hold of them by January, because probably at the latest, because come beginning mid-March, things are kind of starting to fire up, right? Your freight forwarders, things like this, if they're importing fruits and vegetables and things, not too many bananas get grown here in Michigan, but we get them in the store, right? So so anyway, just a little side note to kind of think about. So yeah, all of that being said, guys, have a little integrity. Don't lie to your customers. Don't pre-commit to those loads. It makes brokers look, it puts brokers in a bad light, or at least it can. And we're not all evil, run around, but yeah, don't get yourself that reputation. Don't give your brokerage a black eye, if you're an agent, or a broker. Just don't do it, okay? And don't lie to your carriers. I had a guy one time worked with me, and maybe it had a Friday delivery appointment, and they said, well, we've got a team, can we deliver Thursday morning or something? Oh yeah, you can do that. Just needs to be there no later than Friday. No, don't do that. It was really bad. I ended up dealing with a call from a very, very upset driver and dispatcher, and doing everything I could to kind of get the situation resolved, and tripping over myself, apologizing for what, this agent had done, that I wasn't aware of until it happened. So maybe partly my fault to make sure that, he wasn't doing his job correctly. I maybe should have been a little bit more on top of that. So for that, I need to take a little bit of responsibility, but obviously no longer with me. So that being said, hey guys, the freight shipper prospect leads, still just $35. There's 121,000 prospects on there. If you do have any issues downloading that list or anything, don't freak out, right? Because why? Tim always sends you that list. I always email it to you to the email address that you used for the PayPal. So, and if you don't see it right away, check your spam folder. I usually try to get it to everybody as quick as I can, usually within an hour. So again, don't freak out, or anything like that. If you do have any issues or anything, I think most people probably don't, but once in a while, hey, I'm having trouble, or this or that, But yeah, usually not a big deal. I just let them know, hey, check your spam folder, and I reattach it again. So not a biggie there. Guys, load boards. I know I'm a bit partial to DAT. I love DAT. So if you're still needing a load board, get signed up with them. They get a 30-day free trial. And all the links for everything for the free trials are down below. I really love DAT. I have greater success with DAT when I have to post loads out on the load board, more so than any of the others. And I realize there's a lot of choices out there, but I'm very, very partial to DAT. Okay. Excuse me. If you're needing freight factoring, or invoice factoring, maybe you're a new broker just starting. You don't have $100,000 to, make sure that your carriers are getting paid and stuff like that while you're waiting to get paid from some of your customers. And speaking of which, here lately, I have heard some horror stories and actually had a couple of prospects that I've talked to. And one thing I'm starting to ask everybody now, especially, is, when do you typically pay your invoices? I talked to one prospect. They said usually by, within 145 days. What? Who has 145 days to wait for them to pay their invoice? All right, thanks anyway. I can't use you. But we always try to make sure that our carriers get paid as quickly as possible. And like I said, that's all. Then it's outgoing. So that's where your invoice factoring comes in. And maybe you don't have the best credit rating right now. Some things happen. Especially during the pandemic. I think it's affecting a lot of people. But you can't go to the bank for a line of credit or anything like that. So there again. Freight factoring. I always recommend Triumph. They've got really great customer service. So whether you're a broker or a carrier, and for you carriers, they've got some really great discounts and things like that over there. I like to talk to Whitney over there once in a while, and check in and things like that. And yeah, they're really super great over there. So definitely check them out if you're needing factoring. LoadStop for you carriers, really great CRM. Guys, I've talked about this before. I'm going to probably do another tutorial, like a walkthrough on all of that. And then for you brokers, they will be releasing the CRM for brokers pretty soon. Things got kind of held up, obviously, with the pandemic. I know that they were looking to release that in the spring. I think current ETA is by November. But when we have more of a confirmed ETA on when that's going to be released, I will update you guys on that. If you are needing, some info on sales pitches or, things like this, some different ideas, guys, hey, we've got some information there for you, some examples, hopefully kind of help you out, okay? So be sure to check that out. Freight news, that all comes in from FreightWaves. So while you're there, you want to check in on current state of things in the industry. There you go. So yeah, definitely check that out. There again, setting up your business structure, filing for your authority, surety bond, your insurance. My girl Tiffany over at InsureMart, I'm going to give her a shout out. She is so on top of things, guys. They can bring you some really great options for your insurance. So if you are needing insurance, definitely check them out. And they're not just restricted to the trucking industry, they homeowners insurance, et cetera, et cetera. Definitely give them a call. And there again, another company with some phenomenal customer service. So shout out to InsureMart. And if you guys are needing, other resources, some office essentials that I recommend, maybe you're looking for some additional training or some books for those of you that still like to read, definitely check that out. Okay. All right, I'm going to shut up now, okay? This is like the 5th time I've tried to do this video, and for some reason we're having some problems with the audio. I don't know. I guess if this one doesn't go through correctly, then I may just hold off before I try it again, and you know, maybe look at my settings and things a little bit better. I'm not a big tech guy, so when it comes to, you know, some of this software, I really need to spend some time on it. But I think we got the bit rate down. Hopefully I'm coming through, not all robo spotty and everything, like I said. But guys, with that, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Again, I really appreciate you guys watching and look forward to talking to you again next time, okay? And as always, be kind to one another.